Hi, good morning, everyone. It's almost afternoon here. I'm a little bit late because my machine decided it was time to update, of course. Anyway, um, we're going to go over the food shortages and why we're having them, how they're doing it, and how we can protect ourselves from being hurt by it. And I think that's probably the number one thing that we need to really focus on because the whys and the hows are mm, they're good to know, but it's not necessary. So, what I want to do is go over a few things. I know that there have been a number of farmers and ranchers that have come forward and said, you know what, the government is giving me twice as much as I would make if I just destroy my crop or my animals or whatever and not sell them. So that's something that if it doesn't make your blood boil, I don't think you have a pulse because that is just so totally wrong. We not only have a food crisis here, but it's all over the world. I mean, there's so many countries that just don't have enough food. And see, what they want to do is they want to Venezuela us. And that's what they're trying to do. But we got to fight back. I'm not going to eat my dogs like they did in Venezuela. I'm not going to do anything like that. We are growing, we're going to grow food. So, and I know that there are some places where they don't even let you do that. It's terrible. Anyway, they have been destroying pure food for us for years. And I mean, it's been kind of a slow process. It's kind of like the boiling pot and you throw the frog in. That's what we've been. We've been guinea pigs for them. In Europe, I was in Europe in 2012. And when I was over there, I lost weight. I felt better. It was incredible. And I wasn't really eating less. Um, I was running a ranch in Washington State at the time, and so I was pretty busy most of the time. But the food that we have, number one, has all kinds of chemicals in it. It's been genetically modified, which already takes away from your nutrition. The thing that I'm really concerned about at this point um, is that they've been adding poisons to our food supply. Apparently, they've been adding it to our water. Well, fluoride is a poison. What it does is it calcifies your pineal gland, which gives you intuition and thought process and everything. So if you're drinking tap water, even if you're just making your coffee with it, you're getting that fluoride that quote unquote was supposed to fix your teeth and everything. Although I have seen people who have had problems with having like an overdose of fluoride, and their teeth get all white and dark behind them, and then they crumble and they lose their teeth basically. So you have to be really careful. And so, how much are they putting in our water? I don't know. Probably the same amount the Nazis did for the people in Auschwitz. And you got to. I mean, this is the same playbook, and basically, these are the same people that did it over there, only just through bloodlines, the same. When we did Operation Paperclip, they came over, and so if you look at the playbook, what they did over in Germany, what they've done to other countries too, it's pretty much the same thing, and that's what they've been doing to us. So, anyway, um, I just want to reiterate here that we need to really be careful. We need to be careful what we're eating, and You need to grow your own food, basically. Now, when it comes to doing, proteins like meat and things like that, we're gonna have to rely on other people for that, unless you have the area that you can actually have a cow or whatever, chickens and that sort of thing. That's a good idea though, because most places you can have hens and that way you'll have eggs. So there's protein right there. Okay. So another thing that's been pretty much in the news and everything, and we're talking both news, the real news and then the boy, this thing is really weird. It's making my hair go phew. Anyway, in the real news and in the fake news. But I'm sure that it's a real thing because everybody's, ratcheting down how many containers of formula you can get for your baby. Now, as a parent, I only had one child that needed to have formula, um, and that was because she couldn't nurse. Uh, the problem with that is she has far more health issues. She has a lot of problems with allergies, food allergies, and airborne allergies. She's my eldest. And when her brother was born, about 16 months after she was born, um, I was breastfeeding him, but I couldn't make enough milk. So I supplement fed him and I called my grandmother on the phone. And my grandmother said, "No, no, 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 don't give him formula. Don't give him formula. You breastfeed him. If he's still hungry, you give him a bottle." And she said, use evaporated milk and some caro syrup, which the caro syrup these days is um, the corn syrup stuff, the stuff you're not supposed to take in. So I wouldn't do that, but you can you can look up healthy ways of giving your baby other foods alternately. And if you just Google it, you'll be able to find it. Um, I kind of went with what what was her name? Adele Davis, I think. She was into health foods. And she said just add a little bit of water to regular cow's milk and warm it up for the baby to, their temperature. And that'll work fine. Well, David didn't tolerate that very well. And sometimes he would throw it up and throw up the small amount of breast milk he got. Oops. But anyway, he was a big boy. So, he needed more food than what I could provide for him. He weighed almost 10 pounds when he was born. So anyway, but that's what I did. Now my youngest daughter, um, I had to supplement her, and I used goat's milk out of a can. I tried to get the fresh goat's milk, but the lady that had it had too much of it going out to everybody else, so which seems to be a really good thing because goat's milk, because of our size, as compared to goats, um, is much more tolerable to a human being than cow's milk. And these are all things that I learned throughout the years. So don't be fretful or upset or anything like that because you can get vitamins for your child and you can get an alternative to feed them, which is probably better than the formula. Of course, you won't, I'm not a doctor, but I am a mother. Okay, just so that you know. I worked for a lot of doctors, so I kind of have a feel for them. There are some very, very, very good doctors that only think about their patients, and then there are some that they like the money, and that's what it's all about for them. Now, so we touched on some of the things that they've been doing in order to reduce our food supply. I did hear from one gentleman that his crop was going along pretty well, and um, he was going to get ready to um, fertilize it, I think, or something like that. Anyway, he was contacted by the government. And they told him, I think it was the USDA actually, and they told him that if he did not destroy his whole crop, um, that they would actually cover his whole field with Agent Orange. Now, that seems like it would be against the law, number one, because I know they cut that off a long time ago. But you know what? These guys don't care. They don't care. They think they're above the law. So that's one thing that we really have to talk about it. Now, the thing is too is Biden did speak about this food shortage back in, I think it was December. It may have been a little bit before that. And I'm thinking, why? Why would there be a food shortage? And then all this other stuff started coming up, and I'm going, what in the heck is going on? So I know that Russia is not sending they're not manufacturing as much and selling us the fertilizers. And that goes across the world, the global, because the food shortage they're trying to make it global so that we lose people, and people will be, stealing from other people, and all of that. Anything to make things chaotic. That's their game plan. So now we get to talk about the good stuff, because there are ways that you can actually provide food for yourself. Um, we have like a stockpile of beans and rice and things like that. The dry goods are really important. Now, I don't have a big enough freezer to have a full stock of, fresh meats. And that's one thing on my list of things to get. So, anyway, that's one thing. Then, if you just, I'm going to get some chickens. In fact, I'll probably be doing that very, very soon. The girls and I'll my granddaughters live with me. We'll probably build a nice chicken coop and stuff like that. And it'll be kind of fun for them too, because I remember when Natalie is 15 now, and when she was about 5, I had some chickens, and I used to go out and gather the eggs, and I would have her come with me, and we used to call them our girlfriends, and we'd go out there and we'd pick up all the eggs and everything. She loved that. She thought that was very fun. It's good for kids. We are putting in a nice big. I'm glitching here. Sorry, guys. We're putting in a nice big area where we're going to have our plants and everything. We're going to do beets, and I think we have onions, and she's even wanting to do some potatoes, which I think is kind of cool too. And so, anyway, there's also ways that if you grow for yourself, you're naturally going to have, especially if you have squash or something, it'll be like a bazillion pounds of squash. And if you kind of look around to your neighbors and everything, there's a way that you might be able to trade off so that you're not eating the same things all the time. Those are really important things, because not only do you get different nutrients from each item, but you do get some um, variety as far as, different things to eat. Nobody likes to eat the same thing every day. Um, so I'm thinking that, if you can dry get the dry goods, if you can sprout. I remember years ago, um, my ex-husband he sprouted everything. He sprouted mung beans, he sprouted alfalfa, he sprouted uh, p- radishes, all kinds of stuff. The radishes were pretty good. They were actually better than a regular radish. They were had that kind of a spiciness to them, but they weren't that texture. I don't like that texture. That was a problem for me. So I couldn't eat the radishes, but I could eat the radish sprouts. They were good. And sprouts have a lot of nutrients, a lot more than the fruit off of a plant, whatever that happens to be. Um, and just kind of look it up online. There's some um, there's some YouTube videos that are really, really good to teach you how to sprout and the things that you can sprout. You can sprout just about anything, and well, as long as it's a seed or whatever. And they have a sprout will have more like amino acids in it and a lot of high value nutrients for your body. And so that's a really good thing too. And I have heard that you can actually live off of sprouts. So, and they're pretty quick, within a week you can have a decent amount of sprouts. So, that's another really good idea. Um, I don't see anybody on right now, so I can't have you ask me questions or anything like that, and I would try to answer them for you. So a couple of other things that I'd like to touch on is, there's a lot of things going on right now, and I watch certain people with different things, like they specialize in certain things. I kind of want to go across the board and kind of keep you up to date on the current events. Some things will go into the past. Some things will be current events. Some things will be looking into the future. One of the looking into the future things that I'm really, really interested in is the fact that when Nasara is implemented completely, you can look back on the Nasara Jasara one was, I believe, on Tuesday. And if you can't see that, please put a comment in or text me on Facebook or something like that, because when I put my dashboard up, it's not there, but I know I published it. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know whether YouTube did something or I just don't know. But anyway, when Nasara hits, things are going to be a lot different because there's certain rules or we can't participate. And that's how it is for every country. And I believe there's like 206 or 209 countries that are actually participating in this. And at some point, right now, our the amounts of our cash, I'm not sure, that the dollar is going under. And when Nasara hits, we are going to have what they call notes, the US note. It's not going to be the dollar anymore because the dollar has actually been corrupted by the cabal. Now, I call them cabal. A lot of people call them rats. It really doesn't matter what you call them. Some people call them not very nice names too. But in fact, I've done it myself. The problem with it is that these people are it's almost like watching a 007 movie, and these guys are the villains, you know? I mean, they have no remorse, no, sensitivity to human beings at all. In fact, I would not be surprised if we didn't find out that they aren't human, you know? And we're not good enough, you know, to be living, but we're good enough to steal from, you know? I mean, that's pretty much how these people think, but, anyway, there will be some times, and if you have anything, please make sure you go ahead and either put it on the comments. Let me know if the comment section is working because, I know that my live chat works, but the comment section is kind of an important thing, and if it's not on there, I'm gonna have to figure out why. I went in there and I did the little tweaks that the one YouTube video guy had said to do, but, I'm really interested in, doing things and doing the research because 'cause I've been doing research for 20 years, and doing the research and coming up with eh, about 30 minutes. These may go to an hour, later on when things are, coming together, um, because I think when we get to the point where we have to do our ascension, because we are going from a 3D planet or 3D, um, living conditions to 5D. I think they said 4D and 5D. So we're going to have more dimensions to our lives, and that's going to take some, um, moving into, which is something that I'm trying to prepare my granddaughters for. They've been staying with me for a few months now, and until their mama gets finished with her training and her, commitments. So, they'll be moving this way, shortly, you know, within a matter of a few months. But, at any rate, so we've been working on things for ascension and, into the way it's gonna be in the new world. And actually, what's really fun about this is we're gonna be creating our own lives instead of having someone else dictate to us what we're supposed to be doing, like working 40 hours a week and, being dead tired when we get home. We can't even have, any time to do anything that would actually expand us. We we've been squashed as far as gifts that the Lord has given us. I have known that I've been a little bit different than most people, and it wasn't until in recent years that I found out that I'm actually an empath. And an empath can be taken advantage of very easily by the wrong people. And so both of my granddaughters are empaths. My grandson is an empath, and my daughter is an empath. And so we absorb what other people are, feeling around us. That's why sometimes being in a really large crowd, you will get like a lot of energy coming to you and you get exhausted, totally exhausted. And it's not even a body exhaustion, it's more of a mental exhaustion. At any rate, so um, I'm trying to help them work through that kind of thing. And it's real tough. It's very tough for them because it's a crazy world right now. And I guess we're going to be hurting a little bit more, apparently, because they're trying to squash our food supply. And yeah, it just amazes me. But I think if we all like stick together, and I've been thinking about going around to a few of my neighbors and just kind of, you know, we know we've got this food shortage. We know we have this coming and this coming and this coming and this coming. Why don't we work all together? And that way we'll be able to literally survive by leaning on each other. And that's going to be the really big thing, because we have to unite our consciousness, unite together so that we can fight this. And it's really, really important. And so you got to keep your friends really close, and be there for the helping hand, and be there to listen. And sometimes you can't really help that person, but at least by listening, they can possibly get their things to the point where they're working it out themselves. Does that make sense? Think I hope I made myself clear there. Anyway, it looks like we're looking at about 27 minutes, so I'll wrap it up in, about 3 minutes, so we have a full 30. And if you want to go ahead and look at this again, that's fine. It'll be on replay. I'll go ahead and publish it as soon as I'm done here. And if you've missed anything, or you just want to, you know, leave a little message or something like that, anything that you want to talk about, or you want for me to research, or anything like that, would be great. It would be great. Um, I don't have a problem coming up with ideas, praise God. Um, but basically, you know, if you want to look over my take on 2000 Mules, that should be on there. That was on the Monday the 8th. Is that right? Uh, Monday the Monday the 9th, I think. 10th. Yes, Monday the 9th. And then there should be one for Tuesday the 10th. And yesterday I kind of took the day off. I needed to mow the lawns and all of that stuff, so I took care of that business. And and then today we have a 30-minute for today. So probably, did I say what I was going to do tomorrow? Because I have several here that I wanted to maybe touch on. Um, I'm just trying to think here. What we can do is go over some of the new things that are coming up. I'm hoping that they pull the trigger on Nasara like within the next few days. I'm hearing good things. We'll see. We'll see if it happens. It'll be a really good thing if we can go in, and if you have foreign currencies, you can redeem them and um, make things a little bit easier on you. So, anyhow, it was great to have you here, and thank you for watching. And I just kind of want to say a prayer. I'm feeling like I think we need a prayer. Okay, Heavenly Father, we just come before you, Lord, and lay the problems at your feet, God. You know how to handle them, Lord, and just give us the tools that we need in order to to do your work, Lord, to do your work. And I want to lift the people that are suffering up to you, God, in every way. If they're failing with their health, if they're just having problems with their finances, uh, please keep them safe, Lord, and just cover them with your hedge of protection, Lord. And we ask these things in Jesus' precious name. Thank you, God. Amen. Okay. Well, I want you to hang in there. Things will get better very soon. And I just want you to know that I love you. I love you all. And we need to just stick together, get united, and really, really work on this. Have a great rest of your day. And if you're watching this on another day or an evening or whatever, have a great night. And I look forward to meeting with you tomorrow. And it'll probably be around 12:30 Eastern. So you can kind of get a general idea there. All right. Well, you have a wonderful day. Thank you.